everyone, and welcome to another edition of Issues by Elsie. Thanks for stopping by. If this is your first time, please do not forget to subscribe and click on the notification bell. Here we discuss issues that affect us. We believe that life is for the living and that we live and we learn. I wanted to throw a word out there again with regards to our actor who has entertained us, for those of you who watch African movies, in the person of late Junior Pope. Like many of you out there, I have also been asking questions as to where was his wife, especially when I saw some very useless comments of people making comments and talking about whatever. It was so just annoying at a time when a lady is mourning the loss of her husband, especially that he's left kids that she will be taking care of. And so while I was looking through the internet, I came across one of these brothers. He's called Deaconess or Deacon, yes. And he is kind of like he was giving like first-hand information because he happened to have been there. And so he has been telling the public what actually went on and what transpired. Needless to say, in watching one of the videos, I just had to, I really got irritated and got to a point where I got angry. Because, take a look.
So this is my continuation of the video I posted, the previous video I posted about Junior Pope. So at the point when they took the body and passed the wife, you know, she started screaming. And from there, they said we were going to a certain hospital. I didn't know the hospital. At the same time, I didn't want to take the wife there to the hospital. So I can't whine them. They tell her, say, I'm trying to make calls to know where they are. I don't really know where they are. You know, I just try the whine her, make she know, because she was forcing me. She said if I don't take her to where her husband is, that she's going to jump out of my car. So I was calling some Nollywood women. They go help me hold her now, because me I be man. Not me go they hold a woman when they cry. Most times when somebody by man go they console, men will they console the man, women will they console the woman, you know. But some of these people, we finally got to the hospital. Some of the actors or Nollywood people why they call to help me hold the wife. If they come hospital, they go past me, go do video first. At the end of the day, I was still the one holding this woman until later on, one of her friends called me, Mrs. JMO. She called me and said, please, what's happening? Is it true? So I started to bring Junior Pope's wife to our house. We got there, the woman joined us in the car and we went back to the hospital again. So I was still with her, you know. They already took the guy to the morgue. No, he didn't enter inside the mortuary because the mortuary attendant refused and said if he's going to stay here, he can only stay for only 3 days because he died in the water. So at that moment, Regina Daniel started calling me. Regina Daniel called me and said, where are you guys? What's happening? Is it true? She was just crying and just, you know. So me, I tell her, I say, you hold yourself. Oh, I'm trying to see how I can hold this woman. So if I'm going to tell you where we are, if you are going to come here, you have to, you know, arrange yourself so that it doesn't get worse for the wife. So it was difficult for Regina Daniel, but I directed her to the hospital, St. Joseph Hospital in Asaba. At this time, there was a large crowd, more than 500 persons in the hospital. And so Regina Daniel got there. Regina Daniel she came with her mom and a few other persons. I think they were the first set of people who came, and their focus first went to the wife. You know, every other person want to do video, every other person want to do many things with them. While we're there, she now said she wants to see her husband, and her father refused. Some other persons agreed, some refused. Me, I was of the opinion that let her see her husband. At the end of the day, she go still see him. If she don't see him today, she go see him tomorrow. She go see him next tomorrow. Before he's going to be buried, she will see him. So make she just, she was crying and saying that she wants to talk to her husband. If she talks to her husband will wake up. Her husband will listen to her. So finally they agreed. We started walking towards where the husband was. Some Nollywood people intercepted and said, no, she cannot see her husband, blah, 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 blah. I'm like, why? Is this some form of tradition? What is your reason? Person husband, make you see your husband body now. At least make she rest, make she agree, say it don't happen, So they refused. After a while, they said, okay, she can come now. We were going again. They intercepted her again and sent her back. This time around, Regina Daniel's mom was there and all those people, so they held her and said she has to see her husband. As we were approaching, the next thing we heard, Gina Pope is alive. Gina Pope is alive. JP is alive.
So according to this brother, when Mr. Junior Pope was taken to a certain whatever hospital in the Asaba location area, I've often heard about Asaba, but I've never really been there. But I do have friends who are often like, I'm going to Asaba and stuff like that. So it's quite popular, but I've never been there. So according to this information that this brother is giving, when the incident happened and the wife was told, the lady wanted to be near her husband. She insisted and this brother took her to the hospital. She was hysteric, definitely, and probably crying. And while the brother was trying to calm her down, this lady, they successfully came into the hospital and she made every attempt to go and see the husband. What even hurts is the fact that she stated that if she talks to the husband, she believes the husband will hear her. But guess what? The powers that be, the principalities and the powers that were present in terms of whether it was other actors, people in the community, nurses and doctors allegedly who knew nothing, stood in the way. Can you beat that? That a husband has been brought into the hospital and his wife shows up. And his wife is asking to see her husband. And she's being prevented from seeing her husband. But you have strangers coming into that same hospital, being allowed to see her husband and take videos. May Asaba not happen to you. In fact, may St. whatever hospital not happen to you. Right? May principalities and powers in the form of people who claim to be helping, but who are actually probably watching that you stop breathing, not happen to you. Allegedly, that is what happened to this brother. Why did Mr. Pope get married? Why did Mr. Pope take it upon himself to go and find a woman, pay bride price and marry? It's so that in times like that, the wife who knew him will step forward and be allowed to take decisions as to how she wants her husband treated. But guess what? They barred that lady from seeing the man. And you know what even hurts more? According to this report, professionals in that so-called hospital allegedly allowed an unconscious human being who probably and definitely still had a pulse on him ticking, they allowed that man carried out of that hospital to a riverbank in the name of whatever stupid culture. You may say, I don't know, I'm a lover of culture. But you see, culture, the essence of culture and tradition is to help humanity. But when culture and tradition starts being or is stupid or has been stupid all the time, and it is standing in the way that costs lives, like in this situation, then it's useless. The essence of culture and tradition is to make life beautiful, is to enhance life, not to destroy life. A lady shows up at the hospital, her husband is lying unconscious, and she's saying, let me talk to my husband. If I talk, when you are dying, anybody who knows about how people die, the last thing when you're dying and going, you can hear. And so she was right. She knew if she talked to the husband, he can fight in his spirit, he can hear her. No, people stood in the way of that lady and prevented her from seeing. Where were these professionals? Where were these nurses and doctors in this hospital? Who the hell even too was stopping a wife from seeing her husband, but letting strangers rush and go take videos? Like, have we lost it this way? Have we become this bad? Are we that messed up? And can we really say too that even professionals, nurses, like, so there were really nurses and doctors in that hospital, allegedly, that allowed Mr. Pope to be carried out with a pulse, according to this story, to be taken to a riverbank. I put it to you, those who were trying so hard to prevent this lady from seeing her husband were probably really watching so that he finalizes, right? Yes, they were preventing, but in actual essence really ensuring that his demise comes, because they knew that if she came in, the story would change. So they barred her and continued with whatever they were doing, allegedly. It's very evident if this report, according to this deacon brother, is true. May nurses and doctors who don't know or who can't stand up and fight for you not happen to you. So this brother actually got to the hospital with a pulse. And even the brother is stating that he said, okay, let doctors or nurses, let them be working on him while they back it up with prayer. No, they preferred to allow that brother with that pulse, if at all he came in from what they are reporting, allegedly, they allowed that pulse and allowed that brother to be carried out of that sent whatever hospital and taken to riverbanks or taken to a, then can you imagine what it is? The lady had no say. A lady married to her husband knows what is good, knows that if she talks to her husband, the husband will hear her, is prevented from seeing her husband. But strangers are coming in and moving in and out and taking videos, and so-called professionals or whatever in the hospital are watching. That is a damn shame. May the likes of St. Whatever hospital allegedly not happen to you. May the likes of such a community not happen to you. You see, it is very easy to stand alone and just talk, right? But if you analyze it and see how limited this lady, it just, yeah, the way they're even preventing her from seeing her husband, it just still shows at what level women are placed in that community and society, I must say. It just shows it. Because when a man who comes into the hospital and they say that the wife has shown up, they are not even wasting time but taking the wife to the husband because she's the next of kin, right? Unless there's some paperwork that says otherwise. But this lady, according to this brother, is pleading that they should allow her see that, and everybody is saying no. And it's not like they're saying no and doing the needful thing to resuscitate. No, they're saying no and carrying him, wasting time, jumping around and doing all sorts of crap till he finally took his last breath. What a shame. You may think that it will not happen to you. You pray that it doesn't happen to you, right? Yes. People marry for a reason. Junior Pope married so that in times like this, his wife can stand and take a decision about his well-being. But guess what? She couldn't even. Because almost everything stood against her. Those who even came claiming to be helping were not helping. They were actually there to see him gone. And the lady, even the professionals who because they were not supposed to be listening to anybody as to what to do to Junior Pope. They were supposed to be listening to the wife. Yes. But she was being prevented, and all these other voices were talking and whatever. It's such a shame. People marry for a reason. Yes, we know that we've had husbands and wives who've taken bad decisions, but this one, I think, is really exceptional or different. When a woman comes and stands and is crying and says, I know if I talk to my husband, he will hear me. But it's bad from saying him. May God have mercy on those who did that. May God have over 500 people in the hospital. So the 500 people, what they're coming to do? To watch and go and talk. The one person who has the interest of the man at heart, nobody's listening to. Nobody's listening to. But have all these strangers coming in. May a Saba not happen to you. In fact, may send whatever hospital not happen to you. In fact, may principalities and powers who come in the form of help, right? Whether it's they were claiming to bring him out of the river or whatever, may it not happen to you when you are at your lowest of lows. This community failed Junior Pope. They failed him. And don't think that it's only Junior Pope. It might happen to you. It just shows that women, wives, don't really have a say over their husbands. Yeah. Still that nonsense traditions of where the woman, you just listen. Can't really say anything. And you're surprised why when women leave societies like that and come out to Western societies where they have a voice, then they take the rights to another level, because you don't even want them to do the needful over their relationships, over their husbands. Why should a woman be crying to see her husband and is being prevented by whosoever? What right have you? What right have you? The nurses failed her. The professionals, the doctors in that hospital failed her. The so-called community around failed her. The principalities and the powers who stood around in the form of other actors and whatever failed that lady and failed Junior Pope. And don't you think that is happening only to them? You might be the next to be failed. I sincerely send my condolence to that lady, to stand and not be able to help your husband at the time he needs you most. It's a shame. And you have people talking bull all over the place. May God have mercy on us. And may such evil not happen to you who stood and watched it. My prayer really goes out to that lady. May God comfort her. May God help her. And may God protect and give her a way to raise her children. And may God help give her peace. Yes, peace. My prayer is that she will have peace and not forever feel guilty because she was bad from not talking to her husband. Let her talk to her husband and then let the man not get up. Let her take a decision for a man that said, y'all have no rights. Carrying the man back and forth, but can't let the wife see him or talk to him as she desired. What a shame. We know and we expect, we sometimes we look at these things and we portray them and we wonder why we don't have respect as a people or as a community. No, these are the kind of things. And unless we change and raise the bar and have dignity, human dignity, right? We're not going anywhere. Unless we start showing as a people, yes, that life matters, that we have human dignity. And if you get people marry so that in times of difficulties and when they are helpless, their spouses will take care the right decisions for them. Forget about the evil ones. And so you have no right standing in the way. And it was the place of the doctors and the nurses to have listened and to that lady what she wanted done to her husband. Not barring her from seeing the husband, but allowing principalities and powers in the form of whatever to come around and ensure that he actually gave his last breath and then before they bring back. Like, are you kidding me? So doctors in that hospital and nurses allegedly allowed someone with a pulse to walk out to be taken to a riverbank for sacrifice or whatever. May God give us a mind to have empathy and to have value for human life. Thanks for watching.
I invite you to keep regular dates with me on my new series of Issues by Elsie on YouTube, Instagram, and Facebook.
And thanks for joining me on this journey